Alrighty, here we go. We're getting back in it with Python. Yesterday I didn't do anything except reading some stuff. I did tutorials off stream on another site, but I need to actually do at least a little bit of some coding or something, so let's get right back into it. It is like 8:48. I'm trying to not code right before going to bed, because that's just not working. I gotta do it earlier. I still don't have a set schedule at all though, and that's fine. It's not like I really need one right now. I got like the least viewers. Not that I almost ever get any viewers, but I got the least of them the last time I was doing this in the evening. So I heard somewhere like you're more likely to be discovered if you're during certain times, like in the middle of the night, probably because there's less people. There's less people in general, so you're not you stand out more a bit. Oh, I forgot to read the quote. There was a quote. I think it was something. The fear of failure is the only reason you can't achieve your dreams, or something. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Well, that's awfully poetic, but not exactly motivating. Anyway, we learned what are dictionaries and how do they work. What are some common techniques to loop over a dictionary? Okay, you can loop over a dictionary if you need to access and process its key value pairs. This is helpful for updating their values or applying some logic to them. Let's take a look at some of the techniques you can use. Let's say that we have a products dictionary that associates every product with its price. Cool. If we want to offer a 20% discount on all our products, we can loop over all the key value pairs and modify the prices. Values, keys, and items method are essential for these techniques. We covered them briefly in the previous lesson. They return a view object with their value. Oh yeah, view objects are a new thing I've never heard of. They return a view object with values, keys, and key value pair. You can use these objects in for loops to iterate over the elements. For example, you can use these view objects in for loops? Okay. For example, you can iterate over all the values of the dictionary like this. You write for the loop variable, price in this case, products dot values to get all the values of a products dictionary, a colon, and then the body of the loop where you can apply any logic to the values. In this case, we are printing them. For price in products dot values. Oh, okay. So this is, I keep forgetting, for loops are confusing because they invent a new thing. Price, the word price does not exist previously in the code until you make the for loop for it. Okay. You get all the values of the products. To get all the products, values of the products, a dictionary, the values of the products dictionary, a colon, and then the body of the loop, where you can apply any logic to the values. In this case, we are printing them. Oh. Yep. Yeah, see, I've got this Pavlovian yawns. I have not yawned all day, and I never go to bed at this time, and I'm not tired at all, and yet now I'm yawning. Because my brain just thinks it's time for bedtime if I'm coding on stream. I've got some coffee. It's decaf though, but helps a little bit. Has like 3% of the caffeine of regular coffee, so hopefully that'll do something. Keep me up a little bit. Okay, each value is printed to the console one by one. For price in products dot values print price. Okay, this works exactly the same for keys. Oh yeah, it's the same as value. Keys and values are the two sections of a dictionary. If you need to iterate over the keys of a dictionary, you just need to iterate over products.keys or products directly, and then assign a descriptive name for the loop variable. for product in products. Wait, so for product in products dot keys or for product in products. It just does the same thing. Wait, so if you just loop over the name of the dictionary, it goes through the keys automatically? I wonder what the difference is then. A descriptive name for the loop variable. So is this called a loop variable? The one you make in a for loop? I'm gonna try to remember that. I really gotta get all the vocabulary down so I know what these tutorials are talking about. And I know what to look up when I need to look things up. But the vocabulary is like the hardest part to get down. I mean, really, when I first got into this, I had no idea what a parameter or an argument was, or passing in a value, or returning a value, or like a data type. Like all that stuff was so confusing. And you know the names, but you can't mentally stick that name tag on anything because you don't understand the concepts yet. Okay, sorry, I was drinking some coffee. Okay. It says this is the output. Each key is printed to the console one at a time. And this works exactly the same for key value pairs if you need to iterate over the keys and their corresponding values simultaneously. You just need to iterate over products.items. So items are the key value pairs. Are those the three parts of a dictionary? You've got items, which is a key value pair, and then the key and the value. Both part of the item. Okay. Oh, so this just gives you tuples. Okay. Okay, that's good. Well, that's weird though. How come then if you just if you just do this and iterate through the dictionary itself, products, that just does the keys? There's something I feel like I'm not getting. Because that seems unintuitive. You'd think if you just iterated through the dictionary itself, it would give you each item like this, rather than... Like, why is the default if you don't put .keys, .values, or .items? If you do none of the three and just do it, why would it default to keys? That's super bizarre. That just doesn't seem intuitive to me. You'd think it would be items. But so much of this does not seem intuitive, honestly. Like starting from 0 in your index. I get that probably is more useful, like when you get into more complex stuff, but it's just, you'd think it would be 1. It's just weird. Okay, if you want to store the key and value in separate loop variables, you just need to define them and separate them with a comma. Then you can use them in the body of the loop. Product. Huh? Here we are defining a product loop variable and a price loop variable. Each one will hold its corresponding value. It's important to define them in order, the key first, then the value. Okay. This is the output. We are printing them side by side, but you can see these values as you need them in your code. Or you can use these values as you need them in your code. That is interesting. So instead of giving me a tuple, it just prints them out in that case. Oh yeah, that's exactly what this is saying, if you need them to be in separate loop variables. So items would put them in tuples. This is what I would do if I want the items, but not together in tuples. Tuples. Now that we know more about this, we can go back to our initial example. If we want to offer it as 20% discount, we would multiply each price by 0.8 and reassign it as the value of that product key. We could also round down the result if we want to work with integers. Sorry, my brain just shut off. Oy, okay. I gotta stop getting so like mentally distracted. It's a form of procrastination, trying to think about other things. Okay, now that you know more about this, we can go back to our initial example. We want to offer 20%. We would multiply each price by 0.8 and reassign it. I think part of this, I don't know if it's easier or harder that I read everything aloud. It makes it so every single, because I could read it in my head a lot faster. But I think, and like, I think I could focus more if I read quietly, but reading it out loud kind of like, I don't know, it makes it like easier. Like it's less like work. And more just like a, I don't know, it's just more fun to read it out loud. Okay. We could also round down the result if we want to work with integers. Sometimes it feels like it helps me think. But sometimes like it's like I read something out loud, but it's like my brain didn't read it. Just my mouth did. Okay, we can also round the result down if we want to work with integers. Why round down? Oh. Wait, how do you specify that you want it to round down? I thought round would just round it to the nearest thing. Maybe it means round the result down as in make the number shorter. Round it down from a float to a integer. Because I'm pretty sure round... Because there's another word for that. It's like floor rounding or something. When you round it down no matter what. Even if it's like 2.9, it would still round down to 2. Well, anyway, okay, for product price and products items, product equals round price times 0.8. Okay, if we print the dictionary, we could get these key value pairs with the discounted prices. Oh. Product. Wait, so for product price in products items. Oh, in this case they used the items thing. Oh, is that what they did earlier? Oh, they did. Yeah, okay, never mind. So items. Huh. But what if you didn't say dot items? What if you did products price in products? Would that just not work? Because it defaults to the keys, which I still find strange. Products price in products items, products product. Products index product. Huh. But would that... I don't fully understand why... So this is it, iterating through it and updating the value of each key. Like you put the key here. I mean, this whole thing is the key thing, and that's like the index. Or that's the dictionary and that's the index, so that makes the key. And then the assignment operator means you're assigning a new value to each one as it iterates through. And then it's just round price times 8. Okay, how odd. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm still yawning. I have to undo this Pavlov response. I need to freaking be wakeful while doing this. Maybe I should try doing it even earlier in the day. That might actually help. Okay, whoops. Sorry, I dropped a quarter. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing with that quarter. If we print the dictionary, we could get these value pairs with the discounted prices. And actually, if you need to iterate over the key value pairs while keeping track of account... Okay, I didn't drop the quarter. I mean, I did drop the quarter. I didn't stop playing with it. Okay. If you need to iterate over the key value pairs while keeping track of a counter, you can call the enumerate function. This counter essentially acts as a sort of index or count for that element within the loop. We did talk about enumerate and zip before. Well, we did zip. Zip actually became relevant again, but enumerate we only went over once earlier. And I'm still not sure. Okay, I'm not reading. Okay. You finally say if you need to iterate over key value pairs while keeping track of a counter, you call the enumerate function. This acts as a sort of index or count. I need to like buy an energy drink and like drink it right before doing this, and then that will be that'll train my brain to be less sleepy while doing this. Or maybe I'll just drink, I don't know, some caffeinated tea or something more caffeine heavy than a green tea. All I have is like decaf coffee. Well, I mean, I've got other coffee, but okay. Sorry, I keep dropping the quarter. Okay, the counter acts. Okay, I need to reread this because I'm not comprehending it. Finally, if you need to iterate over the key value pairs while keeping track of a counter. Oh yeah, enumerate makes it so there's a counter. Okay, you call the enumerate function, which acts as sort of index or count for that element within the loop. The function returns an enumerate object, which assigns an integer to each key value pair like a counter. You start from any number, but by default it starts from 0. Here we are iterating over the keys of a products dictionary. It starts from 0. Here we are iterating over the keys of the products dictionary. For product in enumerate products print product. But the enumerate function also assigns an integer to each key, so we get tuples with the integer and the key. Here's the output. So it puts them in the tuple, just like with the other thing. Okay, if you need to, you can assign these values to separate loop variables. Oh, man. 0. Okay. If you need to, you can assign these values to separate loop variables. Dude, doing this before bed for like 2 weeks in a row was like so bad. It's so destructive to my overall learning. Like now I just get sleepy every single time I try to learn anything. Okay. If you need to, you can assign these values to separate loop variables. Here we have 2 loop variables, index and product. This is what you commonly see when you use when you work with enumerate. For index product in enumerate products, print index product. Wait a second. So this is just for product and enumerate. Makes a tuple. But if they have to be separate, then we can use index and product. And then print index product. If you need to iterate over the values, you can replace products by products.values. For price in enumerate products.values. The output will have the index and the price in each tuple. You can assign them to separate loop variables as well. Index price in enumerate products values. Index price. So this made them separate. They actually gave an example for this one. This one, they're saying the same thing, index product and enumerate products, and they just decided not to show the example. So I didn't really understand it until I got down to here. I feel like they just keep doing that. They're like, there's so many things that I feel like should have examples, but they don't. They don't. I need it, but they don't. Okay. So this is I just do this when I want to avoid having tuples. I need to iterate them separately. And with products.items, you can get the entire key value pair in addition to the index or counter. But if I do this, product.items, it makes it do this, where these two are in a tuple, but this one's not. We get the index followed by a tuple that contains the key and value of the corresponding key value pair. To customize the initial value of the count, you can pass a second argument to enumerate. Here we're starting from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. That seems cool. I like that. Not starting at 0. It's my favorite. Oh my goodness. You can see this change in the output, but now the first integer is 1 instead of 0. Okay. This works with any variation we've seen so far. You just need to pass the initial number as the second argument. Okay. There are many techniques for the loop over a dictionary. These are common ways, and you'll need to choose the best one for your progetto. Which dictionary method, when used in a loop? The key value pair stored in the items. Yeah, because keys and values both don't do that. When using the enumerate function with dictionary.items, what does the first loop variable represent? The first loop variable? The index or count of the key value pair. Key value pair is a tuple will be next. Which method would you use if you need to iterate over a dictionary and access only the keys? Keys. The other one is just directly doing it, but that's not here. Perfect. What are sets and how do they work? And how long is this? Oh my god, it's not that long. I can do this. Oh, jeez. It's so frustrating because I know I'm not even gonna sleep after this, and I won't be sleepy. As soon as I'm done with this, I'll feel fine. I just have to deal with tiredness while doing it. Sheesh. Pavlov wasn't messing around. What are sets and how do they work? Magnets, man. Sets are one of Python's built-in data structures. One of the core characteristics of set is that they don't store duplicate values. If you try and add a duplicate value to a set, only one of them will be stored. Wait, so it's a set? Oh. Yeah, so it uses curly braces just like a dictionary, but it doesn't have pairs like a dictionary. And that's why one quirk of working with sets is that if you ever need to define an empty set, you must use the set function. If you write an empty set, if you just write empty curly braces like this, Python will automatically create a dictionary. Okay. Sets are mutable and unordered, which means that their elements are not stored in any specific order, and so you cannot use indices or keys to access them. They can only contain values of immutable data types like numbers, strings, and tuples, and they support mathematical set operations, including union, intersection, difference, and symmetric difference. To define a set, you just need to write its elements with thin curly braces and separate them with commas. This is an example of a set of numbers. Okay, you can add an element to the set with the add method and pass in the new element as an argument. mySet.add6. Okay, so these dot whatever things are methods. In our example, the new set would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, I gotta lock in. I need to like mentally try to be more wakeful. So that'll undo this curse. Okay, the add method. Alright, if we try to add an element that's already in the set, only one will be kept. In this case, you have the number 5 in the set, add 5. That will not change. To remove an element from the set, you have two options. You can either use the dot remove method or the dot discard method. And pass in the element that you want to remove as an argument. How can both work? What do they do? The dot remove method will raise a key error if the element is not bound, while the discard method will not. So remove It's like it looks for it, and then when it's there, it removes it, pulls it. So the name's more appropriate. It'll do an error if it's not there. Whereas this card is like, if this is there, toss it out. And if it's not, it's just like, who cares? It just discarded nothing. The clear method removes all elements in the set. Python sets also have powerful methods that perform common mathematical set operations. The is subset and the is upper set methods check if the set is a subset or superset of another set, respectively. What does that mean? Does it mean... okay, I think I know what it means. Here we are checking if set is a subset of my set, which is false because not all the elements of your set are in my set. Okay. Here we are checking if your set is a subset of my set, which is false because not all the elements of your set are in my set. So a subset means it has all of its elements in another set. And superset is probably the other way. Superset. We're also checking if my set is a superset of your set. This is also false because my set does not have all the elements of your set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 6. So they're both false because they're just not connected. Oh, well, that's a great example. They didn't show an example of a true. It is disjoin method checks if two sets are disjoint, which means they don't have any elements in common. In that case, it's false because my set and your set do have common elements, 2, 3, and 4. Everything's false. The union operator returns a new set with all the elements from both sets. So that's what that thing's for. I almost never use that. What even is this called? I just call it vertical line. Boy. Okay, so they're not disjoint, they're not superset, they're not subset. Returns a new set with all the elements from both sets, my set, your set, and it's just... Oh, but it replaces them, so none of them, the 2, 3, and 4 don't get doubled. The intersection operator, ampersand, returns a new set with only the elements that the sets have in common. Oh, that's interesting. The difference operator returns a new set with the elements of the first set that are not in the other sets. For example, the numbers 1 and 5 are in my set, but not in your set. Okay. I like how it is called the difference operator, which is what it's called when you subtract two things. The answer is called the difference. But in this case, it's not called subtraction, it's called the difference operator, but it does subtract them from one another. And just like a subtraction equation, it shows you the difference. That's interesting. But it basically is subtraction. The symmetric difference operator returns a new set. Returns a new set with the elements that are either in the first or second set, but not both. In this case, 1 and 5 are in my set, but not in your set, so they are included. It's the symmetric difference operator. Okay, I think I really need to figure something out. I'm gonna try to do these streams even earlier, or like right after I wake up or something, so there's like no chance I'll be sleepy still. Well, I mean, I guess I'll be sleepy right after waking up. I'll wake up and do some like stretches or something, some exercises, and then get on, and drink some tea. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's the plan. Okay. The symmetric difference operator returns a new set with the elements that are either in the first or second set, but not both. Wait, what? It returns a new set with the elements that are either in the first or second set, but not both. Oh, okay. It's like an XOR type thingy. It's like a logic gate, sort of. So 1 and 5 are in my set, but not in your set, so they're included. And number 6 is in your set, but not in my set, so it's included as well. These have silly names. Symmetric difference, okay. Each one of these operators also has a corresponding compound assignment operator if you add the equal sign next to it. These operators automatically assign the resulting set to the first set in the expression. Just like, whatchamacallit? Just like always. Like the plus equals thing. For example, the minus operator finds the difference between the sets and updates the first set with that result. My set, your set. After this, my set will be updated to 1, 5. Okay. Oh. I hate feeling this tired. It is so hard to freaking think. Like, it was kind of funny at first, but good grief, this is like crazy. My brain's like not working. And it's not even late. I'm not going to bed yet until later. After this, my set will be updated to 1, 5. Okay, print my set. You can see if an element is in a set or not with the in operator. Here we are checking if, oh no. I dropped my quarter again. Okay. You can check if the element is in a set or not with the in operator. Here we are checking if 5 is in my set. Oh, the in operator. That's we know that one. Result will be a Boolean value, true or false. Print 5 in my set. That would print true, but it's not showing that it would print true. It's not showing the example yet again. They gotta fix this. I mean, I guess that's asking a lot since these tutorials are high quality and free. But like, goodness gracious. Those are the fundamentals of sets. They are very helpful when you don't need to store the values in any specific order and when you only need to store unique values. Okay, core characteristics. They're not that. They're unique and unordered. And they have to be immutable data types. They can't be lists and dictionaries. What operator is used to check if the element is present in a set? It's in. Which set operation returns a new set with the elements that are present in either one of the two sets, but not both of them? Symmetric difference. I think. Yep. Wait, which set operator Turns a new set with the elements that are present in either one of the two sets, but not in both of them. Yeah, either one, but not both. Okay, thank goodness we finished that. Now we just have working with modules, which only has one thing, and we can get started on this workshop, which I cannot guarantee I'll do all of, because there's 44 freaking steps. Well, I don't know. I guess I do have to do all of them, because I can't really, like, halfway do it. You know? It's not really gonna work. It's better to do it all in one go. But good grief, it's gonna take me a minute. In software development, a library is like a toolbox for developers. Wait, what is the Python standard library and how do you input a module? This one's gonna be important. Library is like a toolbox. Oh, whoops. Instead of having to implement every single part of the code yourself from scratch, this is Python, not Scratch. A library gives you pre-written and reusable code like functions, classes, and data structures that you can use in your projects. Okay. Python has an extensive standard library with many different built-in modules. They're all standardized, well-vetted solutions for many of the problems and tasks you'll face daily as a programmer, such as, what time is it? 9:24, good grief. Hope it doesn't take me half an hour to do the freaking workshop. I might just have to do that later. Like, honestly, and I'll be less tired tomorrow. Yeah, I really should. I don't know. I didn't do any actual coding today. I've been reading though. That's good. That's not bad. I mean, it's weird that these streams are like called like coding every day, but I don't think I never intended that to mean literally coding every day. Sometimes it's just studying coding, which is what I'm doing. It's coding as a whatchamacallit. It's coding as like a broader concept. The concept of coding, which is what I'm doing. But not necessarily doing the actual coding, especially right now. Okay. Anyway, I'll finish reading this and then I don't know, I'll check out what the workshop is. I'll check it out right now, actually. What is this workshop? Medical data validator. Validate a set of medical data to ensure it complies with a set of rules. Like, yeah, this seems like it's not a thing to do right now. I spent like 40 minutes just reading. And my brain is fried. Yeah, tomorrow before my stream, I'll drink a whole bunch of tea. I'll have a decaffeine. Anyway. Okay, standardized, they have, what does it say? Python has an extensive standard library with many different built-in modules. They're all standardized, well-vetted solutions for many of the problems and tasks you'll face daily as a programmer, such as interacting with the operating system, working with files, networking, working with date and time, performing mathematical operations, using regular expressions, testing and debugging your code, and much more. I love that. They're like selling it to me. It's like a commercial. They're like, you will love these Python standard libraries. Python is completely free and open source. That's what this advertisement is. For something free. I like that. I like that programming languages in general are like free and open source. Like, I don't know if that's totally true, but like, it is very, I've never heard of anyone like buying like a module or something for like a programming language. Like, anyone can just download them and then use them as they see fit. Okay. Popular built-in modules are math, random, short for regular expressions, and date time. The math module has helpful functions for performing more complex mathematical operations. The random module is helpful for generating random numbers. So that sounds fun. If I want to make little like games or something, I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Or if I want a program that like prints things at random. I kind of would like a nice fun little simple program that I would actually like having is like the one on this website that generates random quotes. You could put a bunch of quotes into like some kind of set of data, like a tuple or a list or a set or something, and then just have random things generated from them. Re module is used for working with regular expressions, and the datetime module, RE module, I see, regular expression. And the datetime module is helpful for working with dates and times, who would have figured. But how can you access the variables, constants, and functions and classes defined in these built-in modules? Use an import statement. Every other tutorial got to this a while ago, but I'm glad it took so long to get to it, because I feel like this is some more complex stuff. You use an import statement. These statements let you import modules into your Python script. Import statements are generally written at the top of the file. Also, well, that makes sense, I guess. Also, you can customize them based on your needs. First, you use the import statement, followed by the name of the module. Yeah, apparently Python in particular is known for having like tons of these to do everything. Python's just loaded to the brim with bells and whistles when it's compared to most programming languages. Whereas every other one is very like do-it-yourself. Anyway, let's say that you want to import the math module. In that case, you would write this at the top of your file. I like how this is the example, import followed by the name of the module name. But they put it in snake case like it's a variable. Like that's definitely not necessary because this is just an example, right? Okay, you write this at the top of your file. Import math. Then if you need to call a method from your module in your Python script, from that module in your Python script, you would use the dot notation with the name of the module followed by the name of the method. Oh. Module name, method name. Huh. For example, to get the square root of 36, you would write math followed by a dot and then the sqrt, an abbreviation of square root, and within parentheses you would pass any necessary arguments. In this case, we only need to pass in the number we want the square root of. This is the most basic version of an import statement, but there are other alternatives. If you need to import the module with a different name, also known as an alias, you can use this syntax with as, followed by the alias at the end of the import statement. Wait, so you can just give it a different name? What is the point of that? Is it just to make it easier? I wonder, maybe you just give it an alias that's like a few letters so you can do it all the time. Oh, okay, this is often used to shorten long module names or to avoid naming conflicts. Okay, yeah, shorten it. For example, to refer to the math module as M in your code, you can assign an alias to it like this. Import math as M. Then you can access elements of the module using the alias m.sqrt. But sometimes you don't need to import everything from a module. Perhaps you only need one or two specific functions or classes. Python is exactly what you need in that case. Now the import statement starts with from, followed by the name of the module, and then the import keyword, followed by the name of the elements you want to import. From module name, import name 1, name 2. Okay, then you can use these names without the module prefix in your Python script. If you want to assign aliases to these names, you can do that by using the as keyword after each, followed by the alias you want to use. From module name, import name 1 as alias 1, name 2 as alias 2. Okay, that's fun. I don't know why, but that feels very codey. I like coding. I like specifically coding. There's programming, which is like engineering solutions to problems and like creating projects and engineering things and stuff. Like that's the broader stuff. But coding is specifically like the tools you use and the syntax and typing and that part to me is very fun. It just looks cool and it's fun to read and like piece everything together like a puzzle. It makes you feel like a Hollywood hacker. But yeah, that's very code-ish. From module name, import name 1 as alias 1. Let's say you only want to import the radians, sine, and cosine functions from the math module. You would write from math, import radians, sine, cosine. Now you can call these functions directly in your code without the math module as a prefix. Here we have a more detailed example. Those are my favorite, detailed examples. Not enough of those, I say. Could always use more of those. There's no such thing as too many examples. And there's no such thing as too detailed an example. To find the sine and cosine of a specific angle initially expressed in degrees, we can call the radians function and convert it to radians and then Call the sine and cosine functions passing the angle in radians. From math, import radians, sine, cosine. Angle degrees equals 40. Angle radians equals radians, angle degrees. I mean, yeah. Sine value equals sine angle radians, and cosine value is cos angle radians. Fine. Notice how we are calling the functions directly without the name of the module as a prefix. This is because we imported the functions with this alternative syntax. Oh yeah, we are doing it without the prefix. Yeah, that seems very, very useful. I feel like that would be, like you would use that a lot more often than importing the entire module and then having to type. Okay, sorry, I'm still playing with that quarter. I keep dropping it. It's because we imported the functions with this alternative syntax. Yeah, like I can't imagine needing to import the entire module and then going through the inconvenience of having to type the name of the module every single time. This is helpful, but it can result in naming conflicts if you already have functions or variables with the same name defined in the Python script itself. So that's something to keep in mind when choosing which type of import statement you want to use. And finally, we find this import statement that ends with an asterisk. The asterisk is telling Python that you want to import everything in the module, but you want to import it so you don't need to use the name of the module as a prefix. Well, okay, so that just makes it so you don't have to do that. What is even the benefit to doing it without the asterisk or without using specific things? All this stuff confuses me. It always just confuses me. Like, I mean, I guess they gotta have code that does every single thing humanly possible, but so much of it just seems so, like, silly. Like, why would you even want to do this? For example, if you do this while importing the math module, you'll be able to call any function defined in that module without specifying the name as a prefix. Here are some examples. Okay. I wonder why this one's blue and these other two are, or these other, yeah, these ones are not. It's weird when they do that. However, this is generally discouraged because it can lead to namespace collisions and make it harder to know where certain names are coming from. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. I mean, yeah, if it's considered better, more readable code when the code is more explicit and like tells you every little thing without abstracting anything, you know, without like changing things too much. So it's like, this does exactly this, and anyone can tell exactly what it does by reading it because it's explicit. Then I guess it's best to avoid doing stuff like that, but that just seems like a pain in the neck. But maybe it's different when you're coding and you're like sharing your code with people. I have no idea how huge gaming companies do it because they always code in like C++, which looks very difficult to read. And they have to like show their code. They have to like send their code around and share it with a bunch of people. Seems like a nightmare. Import statements work exactly the same for functions, classes, constants, variables, and any other elements defined in the module. Here's an example of a constant from the math module, the number pi. Will it just print the entire thing if you say print math.pi? Because that's so bizarre, because there's no way they stored all of infinite pi in this module. So clearly it like calculates pi. But that, like, so then would it just print it out and crash your computer like every time you print it? Why do they even show that? Now I'm really curious. I kind of want to try it, but not if it'll like crash my computer. And here's an example of the class from the datetime module. We created a date object that represents July 15th, 1959, and we assign the date object to a variable and access that day. Access the day, month, and year individually using dot notation. Import datetime. Birthday equals datetime dot date. Birthday month, birthday year, and birthday day. Huh. So first you import date time, and then you we assign that date object to a variable birthday. So this is a date object, and then you use the notations. Dot notation is what it's called. That's another whatchamacallit, that's another vocabulary, another term I need to get down. Dot notation. Okay. You can find more information about the content of the module in the official Python documentation for that module. Great, now that you know more about modules, you should know about this very important idiom in Python scripts because they're very closely related. Oh boy, it's these things with the 2 underscores on either side. I remember when we got all confused on learnpython.org with those things. Man, that website, learnpython.org, helped me get back on track because I hadn't coded in like months before I started doing this like little series. But I wish I had just started with Free Code Camp because that just felt like a distraction. But it did get me back to where I was. I guess I learned little bits. I guess I don't regret going on that site, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially to beginners. I'm definitely going to be recommending Free Code Camp in the future. And Brilliant. I love Brilliant. Brilliant is it's a mix of very difficult and very beginner-friendly stuff. Like, it starts out very beginner-friendly, but then some things just are super hard. It feels like it ramps up in difficulty really fast. And then sometimes it'll like go back down in difficulty randomly. Anyway. Now that you know more about modules, you should also know about this very important idiom in Python scripts because they're very close related. If __name__ equals string __main__. Name is a special built-in variable in Python with the underscores. I wonder how to say that out loud because I wouldn't just call it a name, but I don't want to say __. Python file is my quarter. When a Python file is executed directly, Python sets the value of this variable to the string main. Wait. When a Python file is executed directly, Python sets the value of this variable to the string main. Oh, it's a string. So name is a variable in Python, and when a file is executed directly, Python sets the value of name. Name is a variable, and it assigns the value main, which is a string. But if the Python file is imported as a module into another Python script, the value of the name variable is set to the name of that module, usually the file name without the .py extension. This is why you'll often find this conditional in Python scripts. It contains the code that you want to run only if the Python script is running as the main program. If name equals main. So if name doesn't equal main at the very top, then it's like a precondition. It contains the code that you want to run only if the Python script is running as the main program. So if the Python file is imported as a module into another Python script, the value of the name variable is set to the name of that module. Okay, I hope I come to understand this better because this actually sounds super useful. This feels like something I'm going to have to know more about and keep in mind in the future, in my coding future. But if the script is imported as a module, the code within that block doesn't run. This is helpful because it allows Python scripts to have two purposes. They can be run directly to execute their main logic, or they can be imported into another module without executing their main logic. Oh. So if you have this and have certain sections of it, all of that section will just turn off whenever it's being imported and being used elsewhere. Okay. Which of the following statements best describes the Python standard library? I'm very excited to get to the point where stuff like this is useful to me. Anyway, Python standard library. It's a collection of pre-written modules and packages included with Python. That's true. It's a collection of third-party libraries that need to be installed separately. No. The core syntax. No. Consists of external libraries written in other programming languages. Okay, those are all not true. Which of the following is this correct syntax to import the entire datetime module and give it a shorter alias as DT? Import datetime as DT, right? Yeah. From datetime import, no. From datetime import date as DT. And this would be if you wanted to do that same thing, but with just the date. But yeah, it's this one. Yeah, the entire datetime module. I'm glad they specified. if you only want to use the mean function from the statistics module directly in your code without prefixing it with statistics, which import statement would you use? Import statistics, from statistics import mean. Import mean from statistics. Oh wait, I actually don't remember. From math import radians. Okay, yeah. So from statistics import mean. Okay, 100%. Here we go. This is my favorite ad. Donate to Free Code Camp. This is if I had, if I had the money. This is one of the many places I'd like to donate. I used to donate to Wikipedia a lot. I like donating to free information. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, it's also good to like donate to like, places that give people like food and water and disaster relief and stuff. Well, that's very important. But I think the stuff that'll make the biggest difference in the world, it will be making sure that people have access to information and education. That's my thing. So I love Free Code Camp. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. And hopefully when I'm done with it, I'll do these two things tomorrow, because that'll just give me a good review of both of these. It'll be a good, I'll do the medical data validator, and then do the quiz, and then do the review, and like redo the quiz, because I like doing it like that. And then I'm very excited. This one's like a real project, well, kind of. Not like a real project, but it's bigger than the labs. 4 of 50 steps. I like how it's 4 of 50 steps, and that's because the other freaking 44 steps are in here. And then 2 more. Man, this section's not terribly large. And then, classes and objects. So this one's gonna be big. Musical oh golly. Sorry for the guitar. Dang. Yeah, classes of objects have always confused me, so I'm excited to do those as well. But then we do this budgeting app, and then, object-oriented programming. This is the big one. Even bigger than, the Python basics is so far the biggest one we've done, 102 steps. But object-oriented programming is the only other one in this whole tutorial that's bigger. So that will be quite an ordeal. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But I'm excited for these projects, because they're very intimidating with their red. This red box is quite intimidating, but man, that's fun. Implement the Tower of Hanoi, build a hash table, polygon area calculator, budgeting app. This is our first one though. I'm just gonna give this a look through, and then I'm gonna get off stream and get out of here. Yeah, it's been like an hour. I think I've put in a lot of work, even if I was only reading about coding. I'm not doing like real coding. Anyway. In this lab, you will build a user configuration manager that allows users to manage their settings, such as theme, language, and notifications. You will implement functions to add, update, delete, and view user settings. Huh. It still works like the labs from earlier, though. And that kind of makes things a lot easier for me. I'm very methodical. If I can, like, one by one figure out every single thing that's not working and solve them one by one, this shouldn't be too difficult for me. I'll just build this wall one brick at a time. Yeah, this is exciting. I'm excited to do this. But maybe not today. I'm so freaking tired. I feel like I should do something though. Maybe I should try to get some of that workshop done. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so big. Well, I'm feeling a bit less tired. But maybe that's just because I told myself I'd be done after this. Oh, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. If it turns out to be too much, then I'll just start again tomorrow. Okay, in this workshop you'll validate a set of medical data to ensure it complies with a set of rules. Declare a variable medical records and assign it an empty list. Okay, I can do that. That's not a list. There we go. In the following steps, you'll use it to store your medical data. I could use something like this in real life. Congratulations, your code passes. Hey, that's an update. That's definitely different than before. It's showing like a little percentage thing too. We're 2% complete. Okay. Oh, so apparently I did it. They immediately fixed it for me. Okay. As you learned in previous lessons, a dictionary is a data structure that holds key value pairs. Where the keys are immutable data types such as strings and unique with a dictionary. The medical records list will store dictionaries, each of them representing a patient. Add a dictionary with a key, patient ID, and a value of the string P1001 to the medical records list. Okay, so oops, I missed patient ID and to colon P1001. Alright, to the medical records list. What did I do? Invalid syntax. How's that invalid? Oh, wait, I was supposed to put a dictionary. Okay. Do I just put it there? Like if I just put curly braces, is that fine? Okay. Oh, alright. Okay. Well. Oh, see, I didn't know I was supposed to have it like this. Why does it keep fixing it for me? They should tell me, like, hey, you need to make it look like this. Like, because if I don't do it myself, I'm not gonna learn the way I want to, right? The plan is to learn. The goal is learning. Okay, add a key age with the value integer of the integer 34 and the key gender. Oh, so every dictionary is going to be telling the information of one person. And the value of the string female to your dictionary. Don't forget a comma in between key value pairs. A comma? Oh, as in like, put a comma here. Okay, and then age. Man, I would like to not always have to move over to the arrow keys to move my cursor around. I've heard of Vim, where you just can like move automatically without having to click places or use the arrow keys. You can just like move up and down and everything. And honestly, that sounds way better. That just seems so convenient. Okay. Yeah. What was I doing? I'm gonna look into Vim. Although I guess there's no use doing that until I finish all these free code camp tutorials, and then I can use Vim. Let's see. Age 34. Gender. Female. Female. Check the code. Okay. Complete the dictionary by adding the following 3 key value pairs. Key diagnosis with the value of hypertension. Sorry, I don't know why I... Okay, no offense. I'm certain lots of people struggle with hypertension. It's not it's not a joke to them, but I don't know why that just tickled me. That's just funny. Okay, Mr. Hypertension. Miss Hypertension. Okay, hypertension. Hypertension with a T. Why is that invalid? Oh, I didn't put a freaking comma. Alright. Okay. Okay. Key. Damn it. Key. Medications. It's a medication station. With the value of the list. Oh, we're putting a list here. Okay. Lisinopril. Is that real? I mean, the rest of this is real. Lisinopril. And then the key. Last visit ID with the value of, this is a code or a string, I mean, V23001. Alright, we're 9% done. Whoa. I just added all this. Following the same structure used in the previous steps, the medical records list has been filled up with your other patients' data. Feel free to take a look at it. I think this is a good place to hop off, actually. I did a little beginning stuff, and then it added all this other stuff for me. See, because I figured if I got off in the middle of this, it would be a little weird to come back into it. But now it makes sense, because I didn't even add all this stuff. This was just put in. Anyway, okay. We did, that counts as doing a little bit of coding, I think. I think I'm satisfied. I made a dictionary. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll write the function to validate the data set, creating the function called validate and a single parameter data. Data? You want to ensure your data is either a list or a tuple. Therefore, within the validate function, declare a variable named isSequence and assign to call a call to isInstance. Pass in the data as the first argument, the tuple containing list and tuple, etc. Okay. This will all be good to do later. Yep, okay. That's what I like. This workshop saves my progress. I think it wouldn't do that in the middle of a lab or perhaps even a certification project. I actually wonder, yeah, will I have to keep the page open for the certification project? Because that might take me more than one day. I have a feeling I can get all this done in one day, and hopefully I can do the quiz and review in that same day. And then I might start the certification project, but probably not going to do all that in one day. But I don't know, it could be easier than I'm expecting. Depends on how much energy I have. I gotta work on, like, even now I'm like not sleepy anymore because I went through that whole, well, I mean, I'm still a little sleepy, but way less sleepy than when I first started. So like, yeah, bit by bit, I'm undoing the Pavlov curse. Anyway, okay, let's, I think it's time to get going. Also, I did this ending scene thing the other day. Now's a good time to talk about this, I think. I did the stream ending thingy, and then I like muted my mic for like a minute before I disconnected, and Twitch did not assume that I got disconnected. It like realized I was ending the stream. So, I think I just have to leave it on this ending stream thing, and I think like, be quiet for a little bit. I'm not sure what makes it, but it seems to work on like an AI or an algorithm or something like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna hop off. I'll mute my mic for a minute and disconnect and stop streaming, and we'll see if it works right again. But that's some more good news. I'm not only learning to code, but like getting better and better at like streaming and stuff as time goes on, which is exciting. I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm gaining skill. So anyway, I'll be seeing you guys. Be rocking and rolling. Staying classy, off stream and on stream. I don't know what I'm rambling on about. I'm just gonna. I'll see y'all later. Deuces.